Jericho.
Alrighty, ladies and gentle folks, how are we doing tonight? We're getting right into this match here in just a quick second. How's everyone doing tonight? Tonight we have Remember Me versus Onyx. This is an open division match. Remember Me right now 2-0. One of those wins coming from a forfeit. The other one coming from an actual match. And Onyx honestly had a really tough schedule, very tough team they had to face. But we're going to head right into this game as we are going to Ilios. Hold on one second. Everything broke as soon as I got home because everything always breaks, you know. Oh, we do have a pause in the game, so that does give me a few more seconds.
Remember no vendetta.
To fix everything.
You can't stop me.
Alrighty, here we go. As you see, we are on the
PC crashed.
pause screener.
On vendetta. Left the game.
So we're gonna go over to back to the caster card as we get this solved out. Also, my screen is rotated for some reason.
Is vendetta even in the lobby?
You gotta love broadcasting sometime. You have all these cards, have everything set up, made sure everything was working. Turns out it just broke. But yeah, absolutely. Welcome to the Remember Me broadcast. So if there's gonna be some bias, it's gonna be
Left the game.
a broadcast.
Being Faceit.
It's gonna have some bias here. I'm not gonna lie. It absolutely is gonna have some bias. We're gonna go over to the league. We do have some bans here. Trying to get the match room up right this second. As we have both two teams ready. Pause timer is now done. Looks like it's going to be a 4v5 going to be on the way. It looks like a PC crash on the side of Onyx here. So we're seeing actually a new comp. We're going to go over to today's lineup here. Starting lineup for Remember Me is as followed. You have the dynamic duo of Jericho and Raza filling out the DPS line with Sam and Shay going to be on the supports. We have a new tank here seen over in Alt Inferno. We have Neptune on our way. But as we say that, players are ready to go. And so are we. In this Faceit match, Overwatch. Looks like Onyx has got their player back. We're going to go over to Raza. You know, he's been electric on this Sombra, making sure health packs are getting hacked, making sure they cut off the healing here. Let's see this little engage right now. It's Monkey v Monkey right now. Bubble v Bubbles. Neptune is going to have to face away from that as these two teams fight. Remember, he has that health pack in here, but Onyx looking so much healthier. You see the dive coming in, trying to poke out that Kiriko. Doesn't get it. Raza has to translocate out after the Suzu being used. The tank for Onyx right now going down low. Has to back up. So is the Brig as well. Remember, do you get the point flip here? Coming up to. We're going to go over to the Onyx's tank to see how they set up as their whole team is getting pressured down. Talking about pressure, we're going to go see the two Tracers going to have a Tracer duel here. We're going to go over to Jericho POV. Hunting this Tracer down low. But recall, force for both Tracers. Jericho getting the better of it and the first kill of this match here on Ilios Ruins. You see the rest of Onyx backing up here. But the pressure is still on. We're going to go over to Neptune as he's hunting this backline of Onyx. Gets one, Jericho getting the other one. Jericho also finding the Winston on the Onyx side. It is only the Sojourn, and Raza finds it out. A very slow, very methodical fight. So we're going to have ults on the board. Jericho with a Pulse Bomb, Neptune 88, Raza 86 to the respective ults of the Winston and the Sombra. On the side of Onyx, the only one coming up on it is the Brig, followed by the Kiriko at 78%. That's Blast. Talking about which, you see the Winston going deep here. Neptune already losing his armor. You see Raza, 99%, has the EMP ready. This would be the setup you're looking for here. The Winston going deep. Raza also going deep. Hits Baja Blast. This is Kiriko on the Onyx, but will not get that finish off. Gets traded out by the tank. Talking about which, Onyx's Winston pops that primal, hunting for the Lucio of Sir Gakenby. So far the poop is good, but that juggle is even better. He's still hunting for him. He's not letting him have it. Sam gets out. Jericho in very low. Pulse Bomb going wide. Onyx does have a go card here. Jericho low. The Pulse Bomb out for DJY2. Coming out here. Jericho does find the Winston. The Kiriko rush has been committed by Onyx. They need to go now. It is 94% for Remember Me. Raza trades out the Tracer. Baja Blast gets Raza. Neptune finds it. Sam finds the Kiriko. And that's all she wrote for Ruins. The beat finally comes out to secure them. Remember Me are going to take the first point on Ilios. Alrighty, so we're heading over to Oasis Well here. Both teams looking pretty steadfast on their Winston comp. Looked a bit better from Remember Me. Had a bit more pressure onto that front line, really forcing the tank to have to back up. The back line also was quite in danger, but we see a switch off from that Brig Kiriko to the Lucio Kiriko on the side of NX Onyx. Remember Me, pretty much staying the same. You're going to see a Jericho TP out of spawn and a TP on the side of NX Onyx here. We're going to go over to Neptune and see where they set up. Right now setting up in Lighthouse. Jericho hacking. Raza hacking the pack, making sure. You see the cast wanting to really slow this down. Talking about slow down, that stun is good. Neptune going down quite low. Raza also going down low. A lot of people from Remember Me need health. Raza's going to be the first to fall down here. DJ right now in the back line right now. Remember Me has to force out. Sam very low. Misses the Suzu by Shay over here on the Kiriko. It's going to go down next. NX Onyx is going to get their first percentage of the map, and it looked kind of convincing. That cast on Nox really blowing up that Winston dive. Talking of which, we're going to go over to Jericho. We see him slinking around the outside of this light. This light. Is it a lighthouse or a windmill? Might be a little of both, but you see Jericho holding this position. You want to take that Tracer duel. A lot of pressure. He needs his team to step up eventually. You see Raza, and it looks like Neptune trying to take over his Mega Health Pack. We're talking about Neptune very down low. These two Winstons don't want to face take each other, but want to get access to the back line. But that's going to be harder with the... Never mind. Raza definitely gets the Tracer on the side of NX Onyx. But like I was saying, it's a lot more difficult for Neptune to get onto this back line with the cast on NX Onyx. Talking about which, Jericho has no fear. Going deep, trying to find that cast on the side of NX Onyx. Remember Me starting to get their first presented. Roger going down to a Lucio boop here. Alt Banks on the side. Not a lot of healthy players on the side of NX Onyx, but talking to which, Baja Blast really wants to make this go get topped up here. The Kiriko rush is up. Jericho's Pulse Bomb goes wide. Sam's going to look like he's going to get traded out. Remember, we do get the Pat Lip. Raza does get his one. He's going to die on point. It's 44% for NX Onyx as they are in the lead and are going to start ticking higher. 24 for Remember Me. Jericho, hard resets. Alright, looking on the alt boards. Remember Me coming up a bit slow here. Raza, Slow Bear, yet to build their alts. On the side of Onyx, they have all their alts except the Kiriko rush that was committed to keep their team up last fight. So let's go over to Neptune as the Primal Rage is here. Gonna try to door block this Winston. They're gonna put a lot of pressure on it. That's gonna force the Winston to pop his Primal. And now it's a large monkey in a small room. The Pulse Bomb's out. Doesn't get anything. They also commit the Lucio beat. Good for 5 here. Sam pops the beat on for the small room. They're gonna really try to put the pressure onto this Winston right now. Here comes a beautiful EMP. Catches 3 on the side of NX Onyx. Raza good for it. Takes out the cast here. They need to clean this fight up fast. NX Onyx right now at 94%. Sam in a dangerous situation here. The kills are not coming in fast enough. Remember, we do get the flip, and NX Onyx is already at 99%. They have to be clean for the rest of it. Talking about which, a beautiful boop coming from the Lucio on the side of NX Onyx here. Almost getting 2, however, no one goes in the well. Remember, he only gets 1 off that alt trade, and looking at these alts, Neptune has it, Slow Bear has it. We're going to go over to Jericho as he takes this Tracer duel. Remember, we are going to engage onto this with the Kiriko Rush. They really want to put the pressure. The cast also used that beautiful hack out by Raza. The Pulse Bomb. Fuck that pole. We don't need it. Doesn't get anything, but Slow Bear does. Jericho finds another one. DJ does find Jericho at the end of that. However, the damage is already done. NX Onyx on their way back. But we want to talk about ults here. NX Onyx does have this ult bank. It's coming online. The Kiriko, 86% and counting to that Kitsune Rush. 60% for the Lucio. And we also have the 71 and 74 for the Primal Rage on the side of NX Onyx and the Blue Tracer Pulse. So far, not getting too much value. Neptune, a lot of pressure going down onto him. Suzu has to be forced to keep him alive. The Kitsune Rush is out. Talking about which, we're going to go over to this fight. Sam getting hunted down low. Remember, we give up the point just for a second, try to stay healthy. Right now, Neptune in a dangerous situation. Jericho does find it. However, Sam is traded out. Cass is traded on the side of NX Onyx. A beat good for 3. The Lucio going crazy for NX Onyx. Gets not 1 but 2 here. Baja Blast following up. Raza's going to throw the Pulse Bomb. Going to throw the EMP. Good for 2 here. It is just the Monkey. It is just Neptune and Raza. They're fighting for their lives. Heal Bubble. Raza dancing around. He needs to come out next. A lot of pressure down on it. A beat is good. Neptune, however, is down. That Pulse Bomb misses by NX Onyx. Remember me or cover. However, the rest of NX Onyx is now on the point. Sam has to step up trying to get that point away. Gotta make sure he doesn't die here. Neptune's gonna come back. Sam's the first to go down on the side of Remember Me here. Remember, he does have the ult bank here. Talking about which Nox on the side of NX Onyx does have it. Care Code goes down. That is all the supports for Remember Me off the board here. Here comes the High Noon. The bubble broken. Neptune popped in the head, and that's all she wrote. NX Onyx takes this map 100% to Remember Me's 88. So we are going on to one final map here. Gonna drink some water because I am physically dying. Alrighty, and we are here for the final map. This is map point. Remember Me, NX Onyx on their way to see who will get the first point of this match here. We're going to Ilios Lighthouse. We see everyone basically running on the same comp for Remember Me. Only same comp as well as Unwell for NX Onyx. We're going to go over to Lucio. Sam died quite a few times here, making a few more mistakes jumping forward with it. But we do have this classic Tracer duel. Looks like NX Onyx wants to set up their high ground quite well. The Monkey is diving onto the Kiriko of Slow Bear. Slow Bear gets out eventually. Talking about which, a lot of pressure onto NX Onyx's tank here, forcing them to recall. The Silver Bullet from the cast is going to do a lot of damage. Jericho having to force that recall here. Talking about which, NX Onyx not looking too healthy, but Remember Me has not been great at closing these kills. Talking about which, Jericho needs help. There's 3 people on the side. That Lucio almost goes off the edge, but not quite. Remember Me does get the first point flip here. Gonna go over to Sam here. We're gonna see how this Lucio operates in this corner. The bubbles are out. The cast Neptune does get the kill. However, it looks like Sam's going to go down. The cast not molested on point. He's going to stay strong and go down next. That's if they can find it. Remember Me had a problem closing out these kills here. Right now, 0 to 26. Ult's coming up on the board. Jericho with that Pulse Bomb at 98%. So far, no effect on these Pulse Bombs. We do see the Tracer on the side of NX Onyx switching over to the Reaper. That's DJY2. So we're going to go over to Jericho, see what he can do with this Pulse Bomb. On the side of NX Onyx, the ult has the High Noon. We're going to see how they do here. You see Jericho just sitting in the cage. The tank for NX Onyx is already in. The Lucio already going with the tank, trying to heal him up. Sam, dangerous situation. Dies first once more. That's been a constant problem throughout this series. But it looks like the Reaper committed too much. Talking about which, Raza goes down. It is just Slow Bear. She's on 1 health in her dream. Pulse Bomb onto the floor. Doesn't get anything. So it is just Raza and just Jericho and Neptune. Neptune does prop the Primal to keep himself alive and healthy. Jericho trying to find this Kiriko on the side. He is just the last one to survive. Remember, he does have a few more flocking in. Raza is out here. Sam's back. Raza's in. But there are two very squishy targets, and they're going to go down. Remember Me is going to get a solid 87% to Onyx's first point. Talking about which these ults coming up on the board. We have the Kiriko Rush and the High Noon and the Beat coming up on the side of Onyx. For Remember Me, Raza has been electric with these EMPs. Good for 4. That's a good pulse EMP. Talking about which, there's 3 trades out here. Remember Me does get a clean fight on one ult, not having to expend any more. The Reaper is going to go down. Onyx is going to have to start talking about who's getting this next touch. It is 87%. This would be final fight territory for Remember Me. But again, Onyx does have the Beat. They do have that Kiriko Rush, and they do have that High Noon. They got to go fast. They got to talk about who's touching. And it looks like it's going to be the tank. Both Kiriko's throwing their High Noon. Jericho getting the better. Neptune finding the Kiriko on it. The Beat is on the side, is good. Sam, don't know where that Beat went. Gotta have a question mark on that. Jericho finally kills something with a pulse pump. However, the cast is still alive on the side of Onyx. But Remember Me looks very healthy. The Primal's coming out for Onyx is Winston. He's going to try to stay alive as long as he can on the point. Try to get his team back into it. Any more ult, but they're altless here. Remember, though. Oh, it looks like the Tracer. DJ is on the Tracer. Recall forced. Baja Blast also here. The Lucio's back for it. So it's just the Lucio for Onyx, and that's all she wrote. Remember Me. Take Ilios. I'm going to see the quick play of the game, which is Onyx's Lucio. Went electric. I believe this is on Ilios well. Getting not one, but two. Isolating the support line. Getting Shay with a delayed boop here. We do have a beautiful Beat, and then also kill Sam. I do not know how he did that. We're going to go over to a quick intermission report as I regain my voice. Remember Me. Up 1-0 going into next map. Alrighty, folks, we're on the classical of Scrims Row. Remember Me up 1-0 on Onyx. 2 bans coming out right now is Ramatra and May. Those are going to be the 2 bans for this map. Very interesting bans, as this map really does hold these 2 characters really well. We saw a bunch of Ramatra in the Grand Finals OWCS, and look at these comps we're running. In my eyes, we are having a Reinhardt Sim, Bap, and an Ashe with a Brigitte from Onyx. I have not seen a good Reinhardt comp in quite some time, so I'm excited to see that on the side of Remember Me. I'm pretty sure we're going to see it, because if I know Jericho, he does not like Torbjorn. The rest of the comp looks pretty box standard, except Slow Bear probably going to switch off. Jericho going over to the Venture. But the comp Remember Me is running is the Raza on his signature Soch. Neptune on Slow Bear on to her Kiriko. Let's see how Remember Me breaks it. We're going to go over to Jericho. He's going to be the first fight initiator. You know, the comp, we've seen this in the OWCS. The Venture wants to go deep. They want to start this fight. They want to disrupt this backline, really get the attention on it. Great for disrupting the Sim TP, which looks like it's going to be Onyx's bread and butter. Jericho needs to be topped up. I'm going to be honest, they have not practiced this comp, so it is interesting to see how they will do it. Right now, this frontline trade is going in the favor of Onyx. You know, see that Reinhardt at 38% and building. Jericho taking an off angle, trying to get this Sim comp done. You see the Bat, they're going to try to hunt him down, but Sam's already going down, first to die again. Jericho in a dangerous situation. There's 4 in a corner. Jericho does get 1. Slow Bear gets another one in that corner. However, she can't fight a Reinhardt by herself. That's not what a Kiriko's job is, but Remember Me looks like they're going to get at least 1 tick from this, as the Reinhardt Sim is alive. They're going to have the TP up. Gonna get their team, in fact, fast. And you see the re-engage immediately by Onyx. Remember, we want to break the shield, but talking about it, Raza breaks the will of that sim in half. Immortality a bit low before the Reinhardt goes down. But one benefit about the Reinhardt over the sim, these ults build quite fast. They need to be on top of this because this Reinhardt shatter can go big. Talking about which, we're going to go over and get some tank love here. Reinhardt at 78% and counting. Raza is going to be the closest one, followed by Slowbear and Jericho on their respective roles. Of course, you see Jericho getting hunted down, thrown in a bookstore, told to learn how to read here. Doesn't get it. Slowbear in a dangerous TP in. Gets out. Here comes the window. Neptune looks like he's going to explode. That's a lot of damage up front. They really wanted to take that Zarya off the board. Make sure she doesn't have the charge available. Talking about which, we have ults coming up. We have that Reinhardt we were saying. We have that Sim Wall. The Brig is going to be the next one up for the support ults on the side of NX Onyx. We're going to go over to their tank, actually, as this shatter could go huge. Jericho in the back line gets out. Well, it's trying to get out. The teleporter is up. They got to start counting these barriers. This shatter is available. Right now, remember me, only has that Kitsune Rush. Here comes the hammer down, and it's good for 5! Remember me not counting on that, not counting on the 2025 hammer down, and if I do say so, they do get probably the feature slot on that shatter. That was massive. But now that that's off the board, DJ with that sim wall could go big. Bob also on the side of NX Onyx and the Brig ult. Remember me does have their whole bank, only missing Neptune's Graviton, but that is a large, chunky ult. They need to be taking a different angle, trying to break this. They can't face tank this. Jericho's going to be the first one to go down. And see, that is the problem with this comp. Reinhardt can really hold this choke, so remember me needs to start figuring something out desperately. Talking about which, the grab is good for 1. The TP out to save the life of their tank. Raza does get the immortality field out. Neptune needs help. Not going to get it. Getting bullied out here. Neptune goes down, followed by Sam. Right now, NX Onyx holding this exactly how their Ryan comp wants to. Jericho in a dangerous situation, on fire. But remember me did exactly what they wanted to do, talking about exactly what they want. The headhunter known as Raza comes alive. We're going to go over to their POV as they have this OC ready. This could really get him, buy him some space here, remember me. Jericho's going to be the first to go. He's going to plot out that dig site, but he's not going to get anything. They're looking to burn that Brig, who they do. The immortality field is out. The hammer is good. However, a beautiful rushing turret to save Neptune's life has not been able to block it. Remember me, only expending 2 ults here. They still have this OC. They still have Slowbear's Kitsune Rush. And you see, remember me, taking this corner. They want to position really aggressively. The only thing on the side of NX Onyx that could have this touch is the Bob. It's going to be really difficult, especially as Raja shoves him off the high ground. Jericho shoves him off the high ground. Trying to break this TP. Not going to do a whole lot. The VAP wants this high ground. Jericho saying, no, you cannot. They're talking about it. Jericho in a dangerous situation. Has to get out. 60 health and a dream. This quarter fight is going to be big. They have to keep Neptune alive, though. This is the major thing. Neptune not getting any heals, not getting any sustain. They need some heals. Where is the healing from? Remember me. They don't get it. And they have to be back up. Raza. Kiriko. They're probably going to combo this all. They really want to take this high ground here. They really want to get this corner fought done before they can pop any of these ults here. But talking about which, we need to see, remember these supports popping ult. You can build these ults quite fast here, but we need to see them get active in this fight. Ground is given right now. Remember me takes the corner, looking to take this nether corner. Neptune needs heals. Raza shooting his demons right now. We're going to go over to Raza's POV as he's on the perfect angle. He really fighting this turret. The Bob is out. They're going to have to slow down just for a little while longer. Talking about which, Raza needs some support. Remember me, beautiful kite. However, NX Onyx can build these ults and just cycle rotate, because remember me has not put the foot on their gas right now. They are playing extremely passive here. Talking about which, a beautiful headshot going onto the sim wall. A lot of, on NX Onyx is low. However, Raza not finding too much value onto this besides putting the pressure down. Here comes the window. Here comes The rushing water is good for one. Does get it. Raza's, Jericho, Slow Bear, all coming up here. Big Neptune played this touch spawn door simulator, and it was good. Remember me, only has to take another beat, another shatter. Gets Sam. So far, they have to start killing this Reinhardt. They have to start killing any target, really. Neptune eventually gets the Baptiste. That's a lot of sustain for the Reinhardt down. Neptune gets another one here. Slow Bear getting out the Lucio, and Sam finding the Tracer to full cap King's Row. Alright, bans are on the screen, coming at you live right now. I can do that. I had that set up, but because everything broke yet again, I was not able to have that available on the start. I don't know if the bans are correct, but we do have the two heroes that were banned. We have the Ramatra and the Mei. Just for anybody tuning in, remember me, gets the full cap on King's Row with time to spare. They're at a minute 21 if we go into overtime. On the side of Onyx, we're going to see their attack right now. Right, running the Bastion, you know, they really onto this comp that screams at me early 20... I'm going to say 2020 here. Or 2018. We have the Bastion. You really have to just wait out for us. But talking about which, this Reinhardt can take so much space just by existing, but he needs all the support from his team. We see the fight for Hotel. We're going to go over to Neptune's POV. I say that as I click. A crucial fight for the backline, talking about which the immortality forced on the side of NX Onyx. But the problem with this comp is that Venture really can disrupt that teleport that they want to do. You see the rotation into Hotel that NX Onyx makes. The Baptiste fails the jump check, goes down. Jericho, Sam finding kills right now. Bastion and Bap are down. Remember, he's going to hunt for any more they can find. You see Jericho going deep for that Sim, does not get it. The charge misses. TP out, and looks like NX Onyx is going to have another chance to come back at this. But one thing about this comp is the supports will just start building their ults. We see Baja Blast the BAP on the side of NX Onyx coming in here with the window. That's going to do a lot of damage, especially with this BAP, this Bastion. We see the pinch trying to come out. The Bastion form is not going to use too much of it. Now going to throw over to the window. Jericho going deep. The Neptune does get the bubble out for Jericho, however, is going to be forced away. You see Slow Bear taking a beautiful angle, tailing that Bastion. No one had an answer for it. Remember me, can't step up, but Neptune needs help. That's a tank gone. But talking about which, that Baptiste is going to be next to go. Slow Bear getting the Lucio. She's on fire. We're going to go over to her POV. And she's looking for her third this fight. Jericho getting the other two in a beautiful fashion here. Interesting Suzu at the end of the fight, but I guess you can get it back in 12 seconds. Talking of ults, remember me coming up with almost a full bank. Neptune is 82 on that grab. Slow Bear on the side. We have the rushing water, but big thing we gotta look out for. We gotta look out for this Reinhardt shatter, this Sim wall, this Lucio beat coming out for NX Onyx. Talking about which, we have the Bastion form going down. Jericho pops an ult, trying to get that solo kill. So far, no good. Does get the solo kill. NX Onyx down one. Sam pushes the rushing water, kills the Sim with it. Right now, Bastion swinging for the rear. Jericho does get pinned into the wall. This BAP is going to go down for NX Onyx, but there's still a Lucio Reinhardt. A lot of pressure going on. The Lucio is down. This Reinhardt for NX Onyx is trying to go down, but Raza takes him out. Talking about ults, though, Raza did pop that overclock here. So not too many ults on the side of Remember Me to use. The Lucio still has beat. Bastion slowly building up to their artillery form, and Baptiste can build that window so fast. We're going to go over to Neptune as they have the grab. This is going to be decider of the next fight. 50 seconds left in this match. NX Onyx needs to capture first point to even get this on the road. The Sim TP out. They hear it. They do not see it, though. Right now, Neptune on 0 charge. Gets that 60% charge. Jericho going out next. 30 seconds left on the point. Gonna see who makes the first move. NX Onyx is positioning like they want this window. If Neptune's smart, he could just grab this window to deny him. Talking about which, Sam gets the Bastion. He can no longer use Immortality. The grab is good for 2. Raza gets 1. The window is out. Raza gets 2 here. That going down. Talking about going down. Neptune going downtown, going on a date with that Reinhardt as he's taking him to the movie theater, but gets out. 6 seconds left for NX Onyx. Jericho takes out the cast. Last minute, here comes the Lucio trying to touch, and that's all she wrote for King's Row. Remember me, take another decisive map, and we're on to match point. Right now, NX Onyx not really finding the groove here, but talking about finding the groove, let's get groovy to a 5-man shatter in the big year 2025. Getting every single player from Remember Me onto their butts. A big shatter. We're going to go over to an intermission as both teams are going to start voting on their map picks. We'll catch you right after this. Are you ready, folks? Match point. We go to Route 66. I have the scorecards flipped around. Lamau, everyone make fun of your NA caster here. We do have the bans, if any of you could have saw that. The Winston ban coming out for NX Onyx, and Remember Me following it up with a Brig ban. Remember Me going to be the first to attack here. We're seeing another new look. Jericho been putting in this work. Talking about which, I have my cards flipped around yet again. Not quite what I wanted to do, but that's it. I'm going to mute the music, my bad. But talking about which, Jericho putting a lot of work into these new heroes. Talking about new heroes. These heroes been in the game for forever, but he's finally picking it up. We do see the character. We do see the. Hold on, let me not have a stroke here. The Venture, and we did see the Echo for a second. He was hovering, but not going to choose it. We're going to see the Reaper comp run out. Pretty much same comp for each team. However, Sam goes on to the Wu Yang, and we see Raza on the Ashe here. We haven't seen a Raza Ashe gameplay in a while, so we're going to go over to a first-person POV as we get into this poke phase. Raza getting a beautiful headshot and a dynamite onto 2 here. Cleansed off. Oh, Raza's just so clean. Talking about clean, Jericho finds the assassination on to the Ashe of the NX Onyx here. Remember, these two teams have played in Faceit Season 5, NX Onyx taking the better of it. Neptune does find the trade on to the opposite sides, Zarya. For the most part, it is a mirror comp. The backline, the only difference is the Lucio on the side of NX Onyx and the Wu Yang for Remember Me. I'm going to go over to Jericho as he's been kind of electric this fight as this Reaper. You know, personally, big fan of the Reaper guy. Has 2 shotgun. His ult's very powerful, but talking about it, which he hasn't got to the ult yet. The bubble is out. Wraith has to be forced by Jericho. A big thing, you see these 2 Reapers going head to head. Neptune needs some health. We see a fight over the Mega Pack. Right now, Jericho had to surrender position. DJ is going, talking about which we have a Reaper diff. We put Reaper diff in the chat. Remember, he has to fall back as the main source of their damage is gone, and it is deleted. Raza going down, Sam going down next. A beautiful recontest on the side of NX Onyx. Looking into this next alt fight. Sam with 91% to rushing water. Slowbear 80%. Jericho 73%. Neptune and Raza at 65 and 81. No ults on the side of NX Onyx just yet. The Jericho just came online, so they can use that. The Reaper at 87%, so ahead of Jericho by quite a bit. Lucio beat is going to be a big one right now at 74 on the side of NX Onyx. Remember me stepping up into the cart because the pressure on to Jericho. Talking about pressure, the Sojourn on the side of NX Onyx in a dangerous situation. Here comes, but Bob is good for it. We have a 6-man on the point. The grab pulls Bob closer to the point. That's going to be a lot of damage. Raza finds another pick here. However, Neptune is traded out. The beat is good for 2, and it's only good on the supports here. Remember Me still has a way in here. Sam, Shay, and Raza still have presence on that. We're going to go over to Raza as he could be the deciding factor of this fight. Going each way as the 2 tanks and coming back. Reapers with ults. Remember me only using 1 ult. NX Onyx using all 3. OC is out. Kasune Rush is out. The Reaper guy, dying, only finds his own grave. The rushing torrent is good. Raza takes the head off of the Sojourn here. Fights on Onyx right now. Jericho finding the Lucio. Neptune needs some help, needs a little bit of carry. However, they get it over the line. Remember me, only using 2 ults there. NX Onyx has no ults to spare. We're going to go over to Jericho as he does have this next ult. He does have this Death Blossom. So far, no one has died to either Death Blossom. We've only seen one. Talk about what he sees the Suzu. He hears it. He wants to go deep. He pops it. He gets 1. He gets 2. That's my Reaper guy. As soon as he saw that Suzu, he was in, and it was good. Remember me getting a lot of map progress for that. Next one up to bat with the ults in this entire lobby is going to be Neptune with his Graviton Surge in a perfect situation to really just slam the door. Remember me not getting too much progress here. The grab is good for 3. The Suzu is out. A lot of pressure can come out. Slowbear gets 1. Raza gets 1. Jericho gets 1. The entire team is active in this fight except for Sam. Talking about which, we're looking at ults again. Remember, you're going to be coming up on the next one. You see Sam taking an aggressive angle over here with Jericho. Really wants to shut the door on second point without ever having to fight on it. You see Jericho going deep right now. Almost taking a few headshots. A few strays. You see this Lucio and this Sojourn setting up on the left side. Jericho in a dangerous situation. Gets found out. Went too deep with that. Remember me, down 1 on this fight. But here comes Bob. On the high ground, Sniper Bob, if you will. Gonna try to force, remember me here. However, Neptune going down. They're down 2. Down 3 as the Lucio finds Slowbear, and it looks like Remember Me has to give it up. Alright, we're gonna look at these ult fights. Rushing Current is the only one on the side of Remember Me, but it's at 74%. We do have the Lucio beat. It was good for 2, but it's not the 2 you wanted to see on the side of Onyx. The OC is coming up, and the Graviton Surge is also here. Remember, he does have to fight back, but Raza, who needs ults when you can just shoot someone in the face? Talking about which, Kiriko goes deep to try to save her. There was a C9? I wasn't even looking at that. Remember me, push it in. They don't need ults. They don't need it. Raza can kill 1, and the rest will just sneak the cart in the back. NX Onyx might be in shambles after that. That was a tragic way to give up second point, as they were firmly in the driver's seat with their ult bank. We see the rest of Remember Me. You see Jericho, and we see Neptune trying to get positioning here. But talking about which, it's not going to matter too much if no one on Remember Me gets on the cart. The Graviton Surge is good for 2. Gets Slowbear and Jericho. Neptune finds it. The Reaper on NX Onyx just ults these demons, I guess. No one there in the room. Remember Me will take that fight, getting 2 very powerful, getting the grab and the Reaper ult out. But you want to talk about 2 powerful ults. You have the support ults coming up for both teams. Sam with that Rushing Water. Shay with the Kitsune Rush. Talking about which, here it comes. No answer so far back with any of the support ults for NX Onyx. Here. Beat good for 4 here. OC is out for NX Onyx. So far not getting any good, but Neptune getting pressured back. Remember Me is still coming up. Has 2 ults on the side of NX Onyx. Only has 1. We see the Rushing Water onto Jericho. He's hunting. He's looking for it. The Suzu is good to deny it. He gets another one with the OC. Talking about which, Raza gets the Kiriko. Remember Me, he's going to look to clean this fight up. Jericho in an advantage situation here. Ooh, that's a tragic late death. Their tank is going to get staggered out. Neptune just has to stay alive here. Looks like the Lucio on the side of NX Onyx is going to be the one to touch. The Lucio is out. Jericho and Neptune do have fun. Raza pops the bomb into the backline. It's good. Finds the Kiriko here. Talking about which, the Reaper's going to take full advantage, but Raza finds the head. Raza is going electric. Let's see what this man sees. And it is just blood. 2 seconds left for this point. Remember Me really has to clean up these kills fast as respawners are coming back. The Tracer is in, but remember, we shove the cart in with 15 seconds to spare. Full capping Route 66. Alright, an exciting round of Overwatch we had just seen there. Remember me looking quite convincing. And Onyx has to have their heart broken. That second point defense was theirs to secure, but ends up getting C9 in the back here. Standout players right now for NX Onyx, you know. Got to give it to their tank player. They have been electric with their ults. We see both teams right now, no comp switch. We're going to go over to a Raza POV. I know we've been looking at a bunch of Raza, not as much on the support side, but you got to admit, seeing Raza just click heads like he's Lee Harvey Oswald looks so good. I hate that spray. Shout out to TM, though. Congratulations on becoming the world champions here. Twisted Minds. Sam trying to cover it up. Not a fan of TM as well, but you still got to give it to him. Gotta love that EMEA slop with the Sim build. The sprays are coming out heavy and thick. Try to cover it up. Try to cover that properly. Maybe goofed around too long. Looks like Raza's going to take Big Earl's rooftop, and he's going to hold there. Sam, Raza's still on that spray speed. That was a beautiful shot connecting onto the Reaper as he teleports in. Jericho, however, is in a dangerous situation on the health. These two are still getting sprayed. They're feeling pretty good about themselves. They need to lock in the match as a railgun goes over Raza's head. Luckily, it didn't take it out. Reaper does not get burned back with that shotgun, but a combination headshot splashing water takes out DJ. Talking about it, Sam's getting two. Maybe we go over to a support gameplay here. Let's see how Sam's doing. Doing it. Sam gets a third this fight. Sam's looking for his fourth, looking for his montage reel here. Slow Bear looks like she was going off the cliff for a sec, teleports in, so she does not have that ability just yet. Jericho with a big TP up the stairs. Accomplishes nothing that walking couldn't, but I guess we're using abilities. Talking about using abilities, Neptune is already in the fight. Sam's nowhere to be seen. Neptune at 45% ult. Jericho's going to start TPing up 50%. He's going to come in like Batman. A lot of pressure. He does find it on the burning Soj here. Is hunting down his next victim. DJ is next. Neptune does find the counterpart on it. Sam finding another kill here. He's been outstanding on this Wu Yang, and Raza cleans it up with Jericho in the back toe. We have ult fight coming in here. Right now, Onyx, the closest one is surprisingly the Grav. If you know how hard it is to build Graviton Surges, it should not be the first one coming up on your team. Raza, Jericho, Sam, Slow Bear, and Neptune all coming up on their ults. It should have them in this fight. Only Raza, Sam, and Slow Bear have ults on the board. We're going to go over to the Raza. Or no, actually, we're going to go over to Sam. Bob is out. That's a beautiful Bob. It's going to really cut off the support. Going to put a lot of pressure onto it. Jericho, however, finds one, finds two with the Death Blossom. Gets shut down by the Sojourn. Maybe a little too late. They're going to hunt down so many kills. They're going to find any Neptune with two at the spawn door here. That's going to force them back. And remember me only using two ults. They're still competitive in this. The Graviton Surge and the Rushing Current is up for NX Onyx. Alongside the Kiriko coming at 86%. OC at 92 on the side of NX Onyx. So there is ults in this tank here. Gonna go over to Neptune as he's gonna read it. They're looking for where that Rushing Current is. Does not get anything. Jericho at 1 HP and a Dream. Neptune in a very advantageous position. The OC is good. Raza goes down as well. The OC is actually great, finding not one but three here of Remember Me. Jericho in a different situation has to force out the TP. He's the last one, but he does get the kill onto the OC Sojourn here. Remember Me has only one ult to come back in this, and that's the Kiriko's Kitsune Rush. We're going to go over to Slow Bear, see how she performs this miracle here. Three ults on the side of NX Onyx. They have the Grab, they have the Death Blossom, and they have the Kiriko Rush. So they can go rush for the rush. They can go ban for ban with Remember Me. Just depends on how... It's out, but she dies. Talking about which, Neptune finds the Reaper. Jericho also traded out for my side of Remember Me. The Grab is out. Sam in a difficult situation goes down. And it looks like that's all she wrote for Remember Me on first point. So the chatters who pretted full hold are not going to get their wish here. So both teams pretty much cleaned out of the alt bank. Jericho, the only one close on the side of Remember Me. The Wu Yang on the side of NX Onyx is the next closest. A lot of pressure going out on the Slow Bear. Jericho has to be careful, has to get health up. Remember, he's setting up for this fight. I'm going to go over Raza. This point actually favors Raza immensely here. A lot of side angles, sight lines here. Talking about which, that Jericho finding the kill on up of the Zarya for NX Onyx. Raza has a shooting gallery, takes one, Slow Bear takes another one here. Jericho fighting another pick at the end of this fight. Let's see if he finds another one. I see the shotgun blast going out. It's the Kiriko who's left on the side of NX Onyx, 1 health, but gets healed up. Also now coming up on the boat. Sorry, your caster is currently dying, losing his voice every second, but ults are on the board for Remember Me. The only one coming up for NX Onyx is the OC Rush. That Reaper taking a lot of resources. Jericho getting 1, getting 2. Will he get a 3? He gets a 3-piece. You know, if you asked me, I would not have said the Reaper gets this much value, but this Reaper is getting so much value. Jericho's going for his 4. He's not going to get it, but has been insane on this. Only using 1 ult helps with the econ, but talking about econ, you gotta wonder where NX Onyx's econ is. They only have rushing water again. Sure, the OC is coming up, but that is going to be in the middle of the fight if they're lucky, and if they don't get their headshot picked off. You see, Remember Me has their angle they want. A big OC, a big grab here comes out. They're hunting it down with the rushing water. Does not get it. Neptune finds 1, finds 2. Raza finally getting bettered here on the sides of the Soj. They do pop the Bob. They do have 30 seconds on the board for NX Onyx. Their ults are coming up. They have that Kiriko at 86%. The Sojourn at OC level. She is ready. She is willing to go here. She was electric on it with 33 kills last time. We'll see how this fight degrades. You see Jericho already on top of that Sojourn. They do not want to give her a position where she uses it. What's crazy though is Jericho is already at 80% to this ult. Raza picks the head off of the Sojourn. Neptune finds the Sojourn OCing. Remember Me in a great position to find this map. The rushing water is out. Who's going to touch the point? It's going to be the Zarya. Slow Bear goes down. Neptune finds the pick. Remember Me are going to take this map unless no one else. Jericho gets the final touch. And Remember Me takes an easy series 3-0 against NX Onyx. Remember Me also gets the final play of the game on this series. Final fight territory here. Neptune gets 1 here. Gets that rushing turret here. Blast, no good. I guess we are only killing 1 on that. We'll be right back as we're going to get a player interview with VN Shay. 3, 2, 1. Alrighty, folks. Welcome back. We do have a player interview, and I did lie to you. We're not going to get a Shay interview, but we got someone even better. We got Neptune. Neptune, first game on Remember Me, and you guys are up 3-0. How are you feeling?
Honestly, I'm feeling pretty good myself. I was really glad to be here today, at least fill in for Hammer.
Yeah, and let's talk about the game you had. We saw a bunch of Zarya. We saw a pretty clean Winston. What's your read on the meta right now? How are you feeling on those 2 characters?
Well, right now, I think Winston and Zarya are definitely going to be for sure here to stay, at least for a while. Vendetta's definitely going to come in and shake up the meta. I've done some testing, and I honestly think that Queen and Zar are going to be great tanks if Vendetta stays as powerful as she is right now, as she is on the test. But right now, I definitely think that the meta is pretty standard with a lot of Ram, Winston, and Zar running around.
Well, absolutely. We're going to ask you one more question. NX Onyx, I don't know if you faced him before. Remember Me also has faced him, has lost. I'm going to say that's my bad. But how'd you feel against your opponent today?
Honestly, today I felt really, really in control of the game. Even though I'm actually a little bit sick. I have this awful sore throat. Calming was awful, but it still felt good to get some time in and against these opponents, yeah, they were pretty strong. They kept me on my toes quite a bit. There were a few times, especially on that KR map, it was kind of rough from time to time. They had some really, really clean fights. So definitely, all in all, not at all a free win. But so
Yeah, not a free win. You guys did.
definitely made me work for it.
Well, that's good to hear. We love to see our players getting challenged. But that's all we have for today. Remember me going up 3-0 against Onyx and 3-0 in the standings, making it look quite easy. Our next match is against, give me 1 second, wasn't ready for this, against Quantum Theory. So if you're willing, please join us, 6 p.m. PST, match day 4 for Remember Me. Have a good night, everyone.